Flags change. Big shocker, ain't it? You may have witnessed it. Most recently, when Mauritania changed its flag from this to this. I despise this flag, by the way. Some countries have gone through just a few changes on their flags, but some have gone buck wild with changing them national banners. One of the countries that has done this is... I'll let you guess. Alright, it's Afghanistan. This Central Asian country is not only leader named by alphabetical order, but also has gone through a lot of flag changes, if not the most, on a current form country. Prepare to go down history lane, cause we're taking a look at the many flags of Afghanistan. The first flag, a black one, was adopted in 1709 after Afghanistan gained its independence. The Safavids were overthrown by a rebellion led by Mirwais Hotak, and the Hotak dynasty was settled. Years later, in 1738, 16-year-old Ahmed Shah Durrani was freed from prison after the Persian capture of Kandahar, the capital, and became Afghani head of state in 1747, thus starting the Durrani Empire, which had the flag on display. It's the only non-quadrilateral flag Afghanistan has had, and the only one whose width is more than twice its height. After Barakzai tribe leader Fateh Khan installed 21 of his brothers into power and then died, Afghanistan passed through a lapse of chaos regarding who the head of state was, until in 1826, Dost Muhammad Khan declared himself Emir and created the Emirate of Afghanistan. The flag of the Durrani Empire was still used for 16 years after the rise of the Emirate, and after this period, no official flag was used. Abdul Rahman Khan became Emir in 1879, and 1 year later he decided to give a flag to the Emirate, utilizing a solid black flag uncharged. Again. This flag was flown under the entirety of his rule. When Abdul Rahman Khan died in 1901, his son Habibullah Khan became Emir, and for the first time, the Afghani emblem appeared on the flag when he added it. Then, Amanullah Khan, Habibullah's third son, rose to power after imprisoning his older brother Nasrullah, who was Emir for a week. The Emirate of Afghanistan used 4 different flags during his rule, the first of which was the one on display. Amanullah added an octagram made of rays emanating from the seal. The change from emirate to kingdom in Afghanistan didn't see a new ruler, but it did see a new flag, changed by the now king Amanullah. The seal was slightly modified, and the octagram was replaced by a wreath. After a tour through Europe and Turkey during 1927 and 1928, Amanullah introduced various reforms to the kingdom, one of which may have been the inspiration for the flag change. This new colorful flag has 3 colors, black, red, and green, respectively representing the past flags, the blood of those who fought for the independence, and the hope for the future. Finally, King Amanullah did one last flag change before his rule ended. Seems he really liked flags. In the new flag, the tricolor was vertical instead of horizontal, and the seal was changed significantly. Then he abdicated the charge in 1929. The next king, if we ignore the 3-day rule of king and ayatollah, was Habibullah Kalakani. He was king for 9 months, before being overthrown and then executed by Nadir Shah. During that period, however, Kalakani used his black, red, and white tricolor. Fun fact, he wasn't buried until 2016. Nadir Shah rose to power in 1929 after overthrowing Kalakani, and decided to bring back the first tricolor settled by King Amanullah, but using a vertical design instead of a horizontal one. The year after, the seal of the flag was modified, the octagram was removed, and the seal itself enlarged, and the lunar Islamic calendar year of 1348, 1929 in the Gregorian calendar, was added, year when Nadir Shah's dynasty began. This flag was also used by his son and successor, King Zahir Shah. In 1973, Daud Khan started a coup while King Zahir Shah was on an official overseas visit. And so, Khan ended the monarchy and began a republic he was president of. The new flag for this republic removed the year 1348 from the seal. The flag was changed again in 1974 to a black, red, green tricolor in which the bottom stripe, the green one, had double height. The colors had a new meaning: black for the dark past, red for the blood of those who fought for their independence, and green for the agriculture and prosperity. There also was a new seal that, among other things, featured sun rays above an eagle, symbolizing the beginning of the republic. 4 years later, a coup resulted in the assassination of Daud Khan and the beginning of the establishment of a new socialist state. The transitional flag was the same as the previous flag, but with no seal. When the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan was settled, they chose a common design for socialist states' flags at the moment: a red field with a yellow seal. The seal featured a wreath of wheat, the Arabic script Khalq, the governing faction, at a star that represented the 5 ethnic groups of the nation. In 1979, President Nur Muhammad Taraki was imprisoned and then murdered. Thus, the Parcham faction overthrew the Khalq faction. The flag changed yet once again to a horizontal black-red-green tricolor, with the green representing the Islamic faith this time, and a new seal with the rising sun, referring to Afghanistan's former name, Khorasan, meaning land of the rising sun, and a communist star. Then, Muhammad Najibullah became president and promised changes in the constitution. Some of those were changing the socialist state to a republic and a change in the seal of the flag. Worth mentioning, this is one of just 2 Afghani historical flags that have blue in them, in this case on the cogwheel at the bottom of a seal. Things got tough towards 1992, including the dissolution of the USSR, which was a very important ally of Afghanistan, and Najibullah's regime fell. The new Islamic State of Afghanistan, which Najibullah himself introduced before leaving office, had a provisional flag which featured a green, white, black horizontal tricolor and the Allah Akbar and Shahada scripts in the upper and center stripes, respectively. After Burhanuddin Rabbani's settlement in office, which I am almost sure I mispronounced, the existing flag was modified. The Arabic scripts were removed, even though it's debatable about the Shahada, which was smuggled into the seal, and well, a seal in yellow was added. But then stuff got real, since there were some new boys in town, the Taliban. In 1996, the Taliban took over the state's capital, Kabul, and well, technically they were in power now. Their flag was just an uncharged solid white field. Then in 1997, they introduced the Shahada into the flag, so now it's not that boring at least. And in 2001, the Taliban was finally overthrown, with the help of the United States. And they thought it'd be a good idea to change the existing pre-Taliban flag like they hadn't had any more flag changes in the past. Anyways, the new flag was the second and last to have blue on it, and the Shahada, which is split in 2 by the seal. So in this flag, the Shahada appears twice, which is arguably cool. Then, the country was run by a transitional administration, which would later establish the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. It consisted of a vertical black, red, green tricolor, just like in the olden days, with the seal in the center stripe. In 2004, the Islamic Republic was finally established and the flag was normalized. It's basically the same as the transitional flag, however, the aspect ratios are different. The transitional flag had a ratio of 1:2 and the new flag had a ratio of 2:3. Finally, in 2013, the current flag was established, with no blood or murder implied, thankfully. It's the same flag as the previous, with the sole modification of enlarging the seal, which is now the outline of a previous one. And thus, we reach today. Those were all of the flags that were flown by the rulers of this Central Asian joy of a country that is Afghanistan. Did you like them? I hope so. Anyway, that is all for this video. So thanks for watching and enjoy.